This is the Booty and the Beast Tabata workout. It's a great workout for working the glutes, reducing anterior pelvic tilt. It can be done easily at home using minimal equipment. It's a Tabata style workout, so it's going to be 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off for every exercise for 4 minutes, or 8 little mini 20-second sets per exercise. Going through them one at a time. Let's start off with back step, lunge, and touch using the block. For this one here, ideally you're going to be using a yoga block or something similar, and you set it on the ground in front of a bench. Now, I'm going to be standing on the block with one foot, and the other foot is beside. From here, I'm going to take a huge step backwards. As big as I can, lunge down, bend forward and touch the bench, return up and repeat, just like so. So having my foot elevated on the block helps me to get into a deeper angle of hip flexion, which recruits more of the glutes. If you don't have a yoga block, then you can just do a regular reverse lunge without having your foot elevated, or you can try to elevate your foot on a large book or a pillow or anything else just to raise it up. Now the progression here, if you look on the sheet, is to hold the dumbbell down on the same side as the stepping leg. So I'm stepping back with my left leg, I'm holding a dumbbell down on the left. And then I go all the way down, up and repeat, all the way down, up and repeat. That would be the progression. For this exercise, you're going to be doing 4 sets on the left, 4 sets on the right. You could make it more difficult by going 8 and 8, but I'm going to caution you with that. You're going to be very sore the next day if you try to do that too soon. The second exercise is the wide elbow OneArm bench rows, number 2. For this exercise, you're going to be leaning forward over the bench just like this, and you're going to pull the dumbbell all the way up and around with a bent elbow, making sure that you keep the elbow in line with the shoulders. There will be a tendency for your elbow to drift backward. You want to prevent that, and just make sure you're keeping it directly out to the side and in line. Now, you're going to be alternating arms each set, but I do recommend try to progress that to 8 sets per side when you can, because it will only help to straighten out upper back posture. Now, the third exercise is the side plank leg raise. This exercise is going to be excellent for the obliques and the lateral hips that help keep the hips in alignment, the glute medius muscles. So it's a very powerful exercise to straighten up posture. You're going to be laying on your side like this. Now you're going to take your top hand, with the fingers spread, you're going to cup the bottom shoulder and apply gentle pressure. This is going to stabilize your bottom shoulder joint so that it is a little bit more comfortable to do the exercise. Now for this exercise, I begin with both legs bent so they point backwards, and then I just straighten the top leg. But my bottom leg is still bent backwards, and I lift up from the bottom knee. So this is the start position. From here, I will repeatedly lift my top leg up and down for 20 seconds, then I'll relax, and then I'll repeat. Now you can alternate sides, doing 4 each, or you can do 4 on one side, then flip and do 4 on the other. An eventual progression is to do this with the bottom leg straight. So if you look at me like so, both legs are straight. Now I'm lifting up from my bottom ankle and my bottom forearm. Much harder than it looks. So just be careful with moving forward onto that progression. The fourth exercise we're going to be going on to is Superman landings. The traditional name for this exercise is prone cobra decompression. It's a very technical name. I don't use it because it doesn't have a lot of meaning for clients. I find Superman landings is what clients told me it looked like you were doing, as if you were landing on the pavement and you don't want to scrape your nose. Now, for this exercise, you're going to be laying face down with your hands flat on the floor beside your chest like you're going to do a push-up. Okay? Now you're going to lift the upper body and head up off the ground like your Superman landing, and you don't want to scrape your nose. Then from here you take the weight off your hands and hold for 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. I momentarily relax and then I repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax and repeat. Now the main key here is you want to keep a long neck. Keep your chin to your mid-neck. You don't want to be looking up or looking down all the way. Just be mindful of your neck posture when you're doing this exercise so as to not create an issue. Now the the fifth exercise we're going to be going on to is the glute bridge close grip press. So this is going to be more of a tricep exercise as far as presses go. You're going to be laying face up on the mat with your feet together, hips up all the way. So I'm in a glute bridge the whole time. Now the dumbbells have to be touching at all times. I'm going to press them up, bring them back down to my chest, and repeat. They do not separate at all. I'm just going to give you a different view of this. So from this angle, you can see that the dumbbells are touching and they never separate. That is essential to doing this exercise correctly. Okay? That's going to help it so that we're biasing more of the triceps so that we're not collapsing our posture inward from tightening up the chest too much. As a progression, you can use one of these. It's a looped mini band. It's elastic. You can order them online. And then what you'll do with this is you'll just put your feet through it like so, and you'll pull it up so that it is just above your knees, on your lower thighs, and you would do the exercise pushing outward against the band the whole time, and that's just going to help to recruit even more of the glute muscles, okay? So that's just a subtle progression you can do that does challenge the glute muscles just a little bit more to increase the effectiveness of the exercise. Now, the next one we're going to be going on to is the reverse crunches. I'm going to make some stipulations for the low back, just for those, you know, when you compress the low back, for some people it can be a little bit irritating for sensitive backs. I'm going to walk through the traditional exercise and then I'm going to explain how to modify this. So the reverse crunch, basically you're going to have your hands down by your sides like this. Okay? Now you're going to have your knees up over your hips. From this position, you're going to curl the back of your hips up off the mat, bringing your knees towards your chest. You're going to hold for a dead stop, then lower down and repeat. So it'll look like this. And you will be feeling that a lot in the abs. It's very, very intense on the abs. Now, some people, in case you find it a little bit hard on your low back, then what you could do here is you could place your hands underneath the curve of the low back, just like this, and you could do the motion like so, just tilting the back of your hips up and down, up off the ledge created by your hands. That can be a modification there. If your low back is too sensitive for even that much motion, then I'm going to recommend that you just do a front plank for this. So on your forearms and toes, and I'll have you go with your feet wide apart, 20-second hold, keeping your glutes squeezed, your abs squeezed, relax and repeat. So 20-second hold, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs, keep your body in a straight line, relax and repeat. That would be the third option. So you have a number of different options there. The idea is that that's going to be the primary core exercise of the workout, but find the option that works best for you. Now, the last exercise here is the tall, kneeling, one-arm hammer curl. So for this exercise, you're going to be kneeling with your ankles flexed and toes tucked under. From here, you're going to be doing a hammer curl. So I'm using a sideways grip and I'm bending at the elbow to bring the dumbbell to the front of the shoulder. Now that's the basic exercise here, and you can see that my ankles are flexed, my toes are tucked under, and my hips are up all the way. Now a progression would be to do a little bit of a pump at the top, where you do like a little bit of a stutter rep. You go down an inch, then up all the way before lowering it all the way back down. That's a progression. You could also, according to the sheet, you can mix in a twist where you go from a sideways grip at the bottom to palms up. Sideways, palms up. Sideways, palms up. That's much more dynamic on the elbow flexor, so you bring in a little bit more muscle doing that variation, or you can just mix it up between the three every time you do the workout. So that concludes Booty and the Beast. Once again, this is a Tabata workout, and it requires very little more than 10 to 20 pound dumbbells, a yoga block, and a bench. It's a great home workout. You're going to love it. Rooting for you in the game of life.